Antonia, we're beginning here in France, where it's fair to say there's one story that's been dominating the front pages, the death of Jean-Marie Le Pen, the godfather of the French far right.
Yes, let's start with the left-wing press. On the front page of Libération, you have this black and white photo of Jean-Marie Le Pen with his two Dobermans. Now, in the inside pages of Libération, they explain that the photographer took this and asked him to pose with his dogs in this way as an explicit reference to an existing photo of Adolf Hitler and his Doberman. Also, if you look at the headline, Maréchal Le Voilà, that is a reference to Maréchal Nous Voilà, which was an anthem to Maréchal Pétain, the leader of Vichy France. So this front page of Libération is a symphony of reminders of Jean-Marie Le Pen's links to one of the darkest moments in France's modern history. Now, L'Humanité also has one of these black and white front pages. That is an image of a dagger engraved J.M. Le Pen, which was found in the home of a man tortured and killed by French paratroopers during the Algerian War. With his initials on it, it is seen often as a smoking gun in discussions as to whether or not Jean-Marie Le Pen committed acts of torture during the war in Algeria. The headline, "Hatred was his trade," likely a reference to the novel entitled Death is My Trade, which is a novel about Rudolf Höss, a high-ranking SS officer at Auschwitz concentration camp. So both of these left-wing papers, as is to be expected, extremely damning of this deceased far-right leader. However, it would be wrong to say that across the board French papers are unanimous in how they talk about him. Valeurs Actuelles, which is more of a far-right paper, has in their obituary the Odyssey of a Menhir. They would describe Jean-Marie Le Pen as a prophet and a rebel with a legacy as enormous and controversial as it is unique. So euphemistic at best, I think, the word controversial to describe this man, but extremely interesting, extremely mixed bag of tributes in France.
All right, well, moving on, and we've already talked about Donald Trump's expansionist ambitions earlier in the bulletin about his comments referring to Greenland and the Panama Canal. Give us an idea of how the national papers are talking about this story.
Well, let's start in Panama, where La Prensa has this article describing Donald Trump's ambitions on the Panama Canal as a sign that the Leviathan of colonialism is still alive and kicking at the door of Panama. And this article says that there is nothing to say that Donald Trump's comments should be taken lightly. In Denmark, on the front page of Extra Bladet, a tabloid, you have the headline, "Trump's Dirty Plan." Now, in Greenland, in this paper, Semitsiak, you have a slightly different take. This is Greenlandic people who are welcoming the visit of Trump's son to Greenland, saying it draws attention to the resources and opportunities that Greenland has and might wake up, wake up the Danish government to the things that the Greenlanders have been fighting for, including salary equality and better working conditions that they say are not the same in Greenland as they are in mainland Denmark. The headline is, "The US could play a part in our independence if we want them to." So quite interesting, a little bit of an unexpected take from the Greenlandic press. Canada. The Toronto Star has this piece that repeatedly refers to Trump's comments as a joke. This article claims to laugh off the idea of Canada becoming the 51st American state. However, the word joke, just in this subtitle even, is put in inverted commas. The article does take the issue seriously enough to talk through the practicalities. It would be constitutionally difficult to merge the republic that is the US with the monarchy that is Canada. Only 13% of Canadians are in favour. And by the way, this article is anxious to point out Canada wouldn't be the 51st state, as there will be 63 states in a mega state, a United States plus Canada country. So it's taking it fairly seriously for an article claiming to laugh off the idea. The Daily Beast has this piece on a lighter note. One Canadian politician, the Ontario province Premier, came back with a counteroffer when asked if he thought Trump was joking. He said, well, how about if we buy Alaska and we'll throw in Minnesota and Minneapolis at the same time? This is the headline. Canadian politician fires back at Trump, we'll buy 2 of your states. So I don't know, we'll have to keep an eye, but this may be what foreign diplomacy will look like for some time.
All right, Antonia, and changing pace for your last story, an enormous tuna sold for an equally enormous sum.
Yes, this week in Tokyo, this enormous tuna was sold for $1.3 million equivalent in Japanese yen. There's 276 kilos of bluefish tuna in this fish, roughly the same size and weight as a motorbike. That's more than $4,000 a kilo, which I've checked, that's far above the going rate for tuna. So you've got to remember, with these enormous fish, you are somewhat paying for the prestige.
It is certainly a lot of sushi. Thank you very much, Antonia Kerrigan, for that look at the papers. Thank you too for watching. We'll be back after this short break.